All right. What's going on, party people? This your man Griff. Just want to first of all say thanks to everybody who been signing up. Great response. It's about on pace of what I expected because men sometimes we do things last minute or we just don't do things at all. So it's right on pace. It's right on pace. Exactly what I expected. For as the amount of people signing up. So again, if you are interested, you're trying to figure out just business. If you're new to business, want to understand how to balance the business plus your family plus your W-2 and all of that kind of stuff. Well, let me start the correct way: family, then your business, and your W-2. Okay, family first. Family first. How to balance that? Then that's what we're gonna be talking about on Saturday. Noon o'clock, noon Eastern, and 9 o'clock Pacific time. Okay, so just hop on in, go to the registration link as in the description of this video, just as it is in the one before. That's also in the community tab, and sign up and check it out. We got prizes we're going to be giving away and everything. So you got to be present for the prizes. Don't know when I'm gonna be doing them. Not gonna be doing them right at the beginning, but um, various prizes I'm going to be giving away just to try to help out the fellows in the community. So again, this isn't a come in here and try to flex your chest and try to be all aggressive and hostile because men can be like that sometimes. This ain't about you know trying to show off and everything. You know, this is about just understanding some basics about business and not just the notary business, but just business in general. Because some of you not going to stay in this business forever. Some of you might not even stay in it 2, 3 years. You might just be in it for a short time. So I just want to be able to give you some key points as to things that you can do that you can carry over into other businesses because there's some things that are just indicative to business that we need to cover and that we need to be aware of. And a lot of people are teaching about how to do the notary business, but they're not really teaching business. They're not really helping you to understand how to be a business owner. And there's some key things about being a business owner that I believe are missing with regard to um, the notary. They're just talking about specifically notary, but there's some key things that every business owner should be aware of and should be standing on and should be executing in order for them to be successful. It's that simple. But and also wanted to say again, thanks to the NNA and to everybody. However, I got spotlighted. I appreciate that. But I think something's going to be changing with the notary, with the YouTubers on the notary YouTubers or the YouTube notaries, however you want to call it. Um, they're going to start shifting the way they do their channels, and a lot of them are going to be starting to try to quote unquote teach more um, because that's what's needed instead of worrying about what's in my bag, how to trying to upcharge everybody, trying to force people to pay you for scan backs and all that kind of stuff. They're starting to realize they need to teach, okay? Because more than likely, even with the training they took, they realized that notaries aren't getting taught properly. And that's what I'm about. That's y'all know that's what this channel is about. Or I guess that's what I'm about, and it has turned into that with this channel. Um, so my thing is, I hope those of you who are shifting over into teaching, you're doing it from a sincere heart, not just to try to garner more likes and views and clicks and all of that, but sincerely, you're doing this to really help people out, to be there for them. That's what this is about, okay? Because again, I've never seen so many people use a industry to just straight up scam people. I mean, it's just amazing how many people are popping up to do this thing and then they're switching over to trying to make other people pay them for nothing. you know so and I'm doing it because this is who I am, and one of the things that I've learned, and this is also about business, if it's really not in you to do certain things, you shouldn't go down that road, because you're not going to be totally effective, or you're going to have a bunch of dead bodies on the side of the road, because you're going to do stuff and it's going to injure people, or people are going to need a little bit more out of you, and you're not willing to give that more out of you for them. And again, staying in the middle of the road doesn't always work, because being in the middle of the road ends up getting you hit. Nobody gets hit when they're flowing with traffic. Okay, you're in the lane, you're flowing with traffic, you don't get hit. But standing in the middle of the road, you tend to cause some damage. Okay, so I encourage you, if you want to switch over to teaching and all of that, and not saying that I'm some great teacher, none of that, it's just from experience. When you're talking about teaching, people want more than just, hey, here's how to do dot dot dot. People really need it broken down and explained to them, and it's a small percentage of those individuals, but those are the key people. Those are the people that can make or break you, and you got to be able to be there for them. And if it's not in you to be there for people, but you just want people to hear what you have to say and gain the information from you, so that you can get something out of them or off of them, for as likes, views, clicks on your links and all of that, people gonna eventually figure that out. Okay, they're gonna eventually figure that out. So um the teaching is not a teaching game, because I hear people say that, well, getting in that teaching game. This ain't a game. These are people's lives. Okay, seriously, sincerely, these are people's lives. This isn't about getting some information over here and then just regurgitating it. It's about really helping people out, because there's people who really need help. So you're going to do what you do. I'm just saying, make sure it's from a pure and sincere heart, and that it's not all that it's cracked up to be, because sometimes people will call you in the middle of the night and need something. Sometimes people need more than just, you know, I've learned people need more than just my one of my 20-minute videos. They need more than that. They need a little bit more help. They need a little bit more explanation, because of the learning style that they have and all of that. So you have to be willing to pour into them and to sow into them effectively, so that they can get to where they need to be, and they can be successful in this business. Just putting information out doesn't mean that people are going to instantly understand it. And no matter how well you teach or how you explain things, there's always going to be somebody who's not going to get it the first go around. And those are the people who I'm personally most concerned with. I want to make sure they get it, because if they don't get it, then sometimes they just get frustrated, pull into their shell, and just give up. And I don't think they should, So now, just encourage y'all. I got mine. You need to get yours for your state. I know a lot of people, and this here 100% is not me caping for the NNA just because they gave me the spotlight. Everybody who knows me, everybody's been watching. Y'all heard me. Especially those of you who talk to me one-on-one, know that I've been saying, go to the NNA to get your notary stuff first, and then go over to all these other trainers for the business side, since they're saying and admitting that they're not teaching the notary side, they're teaching the business side. There's nothing wrong with that. But honestly, I mean, get yours. If you're struggling, you need help, get yours. Deals with electronic notarizations, the notary seal and certificate. I mean, it tells you everything that you need to know. So if you're lost, if you're unsure, you need to do that. And there's another book that I can't remember the name of, and somebody probably know and put it in the comment. But there's a book concerning IDs and how to verify whether that ID is fake. And I can't remember the name of it. I had it written down somewhere because I took a course with Laura Brewer, and she mentioned it to me, and I did write it down. And it's probably on the other side over there. But that that's a real good book. Now just reading something in here that's talking about so these are the kind of things that you need to do. Notary Primer. I haven't seen anything wrong with the book. This here, Loan Source Docs. Um, One thing I will say, I can understand why people may get confused when they get this book from me, because if you're trying to, you're seeing all these different documents, they're showing a lot of different documents in here. And if you're looking at this book from a standpoint of, oh, I need to learn every single 570 some pages worth of these document examples in here, it can give you a headache. Okay. It can give you a headache. If you're trying to learn it from the standpoint of memorizing, um, yeah, it's going to give you a headache. It really is, because they have in here the commercial transaction. If you haven't done commercial loans, then you probably don't need to hop on that and be all knee deep into the commercial loan part of it just yet, just starting out. But it's a good reference so you can understand it. The biggest issue that I'm seeing again is that people are trying to read these documents and these books and stuff as the end all be all. So the documents that they downloaded from the NNA, oh, that's the way it is. They got the settlement HUD-1 statement in here. Um, and if you're not understanding, that's on reverse mortgages. I got a 229-page reverse mortgage that I'm doing today. So, and that's all, and that's in there. That's the first page that's in there. So if you don't understand that the settlement HUD-1 is with the reverse mortgages and the closing disclosures with the refis and the purchase and the sales, you'll sit up here and try to memorize this. And then when you don't see it in a in a regular refi package, you'll start freaking out. And vice versa with you trying to memorize the CD. So you have to have, you got to be able to know what you're dealing with and not confuse the different things. It talks about the home equity line of credit, and in here it has a CD, so you have to understand what it, and they start off with the refi package. So all of that is, sales and purchases, you know, um, common signing agent forms and things of that nature. So this here, compliance agreements. This is a good book. And again, I'm not doing this because I've been ordered this stuff. I've had the Loan Source Doc book probably for over a month now. And I just got this one this week. I ordered that last week sometime or whatever. So I'm about making sure we understand how to do what we need to do. And when you sit here and look at the level of the realm of education out here, the question is, you got to define what is it that you're trying to learn to do and where you want to get it from. So if you're concerned about loan doc prepper, presentation, marketing, all of that, there's a ton of people out there that you can get that from. Not that the NNA doesn't teach that, I believe they do. Or if you're concerned about making sure you understand your state laws and how you properly notarize the documents, then you have to do what? Go to the source that can provide that for you, which in most cases is the NNA. Well, to me, the NNA and your state. So once you define that for yourself, and most people y'all call and talk to me, y'all know that I say, okay, what is you trying to learn? I want to learn. I need to learn something. Okay, what is you trying to learn? Once you identify what you're trying to learn, then you can move in that direction. You can't say that you want to be a doctor, a medical doctor dealing with pediatrics, and you're going to a heart surgeon school. You got to go to the place that can get you the information that you need. That's why, again, anybody who's trying to talk about teaching and want to shift their YouTube platform, you got to be able to meet people where they're at and understand where they're at and be able to guide them in the correct direction. You can't always guide them back to your source of information because you might have got information over here, but what they need is not over there. Okay. And this is the key, because to get them over there, yeah, it helps you out financially because they hit that affiliate link, but it's not helping them out practically for as being the proper notary for their state, especially if you're not in an attorney state and they are, and you're trying to, you see what I'm saying? You got to understand where people are at and work with them and operate with them within that capacity so that they can actually, oh, I need to check one thing. I don't know why, just something popped in my head. Okay. I was just thinking about my microphone. and everything, because sometimes I have it on the wrong source, but it's right. Y'all know how I do. All these thoughts hitting and popping in my head. But that's the thing. So you got to meet people where they're at. So that's why I deal with stuff the way I'm dealing with it, because when I started looking at it, I said, well, if people don't know how to notarize, then how do you learn how to notarize? Well, one, the state. You go to the state tells you about dot, dot, dot. Okay, well, what does the NNA tell you? Because I hear so many people saying, the NNA is this bad, that bad. Some of them are trainers. Some of them are just notaries in general. Some of them, just whoever. And I'm like, okay, what is it? And see, when people tell me, well, the NNA's training wasn't, sort of lackluster. It wasn't really all of that. Then I asked them, I said, well, then what is it that you was trying to get? What is it that you want to know? And darn near 100% of the time, what they're saying is, well, I want to know the documents better. I want to get more familiar with the documents. I want to be able to know more about the documents and what's in the document itself. And I'm like, okay, well, then you need to understand, what is the NNA? The NNA is teaching you to ensure that you notarize the documents properly. And if you took the NNA's training, and people say, well, yeah, I did take the training. I said, the $70 training or the $259? Well, the $70. Well, that's not training. That's just you taking a course. That's just you taking that exam and that. And they had some books, the books and the code of conduct and stuff. And then you are smart enough, like a lot of us are, to take the test and, oh, okay, common sense says this, that, and the other. I made 86.5. Boom. I'm a notary signing agent. But if you're trying to really understand and learn, you need to get over there and take the 259 course. That's what I've learned. Now, when I started off, I didn't. I just took that course this go around for my 4th year going into notary, because I wasn't aware of how detailed or the information that was in there. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, well, let me give this a try, because many of you who have taken that course have told me, I mean, people call me left and right saying, you, Griff, if they just take that NNA thing, they would know. And I was like, okay. And again, I am not caping for the NNA from the standpoint of them giving me that spotlight. That has nothing to do with it, okay? Which I know about 17.6% of you, that's all y'all gonna say, and that's what y'all gonna thumbs down, and that's what y'all gonna be putting in the comments. That has nothing to do with this. This ain't about money. This ain't about me getting nothing out of the NNA. This is just me looking at this logically, saying, how do people get help? Okay. And the people called me and told me, if they take this course, boom, boom, boom. And then when I started looking at the people who are calling me versus the people who aren't, the people who aren't calling me are the people who actually took the NNA's training course. And I'm sitting there like, okay, so they're taking the course. And if they're asking me stuff, it's just some small basic stuff, but they're not really getting, they're not like, how do I notarize? They're like, well, I learned how to notarize. I just go to do the notary essentials. I go to my state primer and I'm good. I got the loans. I'm like, okay. So I'm starting to realize, I'm like, okay, well, if they're doing this. And then I asked the people who didn't take those courses and just took the infomercial courses that's out there. And they're like, well, no, I didn't learn that. And I went and they told me to go to the NNA. And I'm like, all right, so did you go to the NNA and do that? No, I didn't. Some of them said because of money. They done spent their money up and they had no money to pay for that. I'm like, okay. So I started noticing a pattern. So that's why I had to shift, and I'm like, okay, well, it seems like the NNA is where it's at. But then I said, well, I can't definitively say, I mean, I can speculatively say, because I've never taken those courses. So that's why this go around, I took the course. And man, it's on point. So as I was telling the people in the classes that I'm doing, I fully support doing the presentations the way the NNA said. And what the NNA says is really in line with what I've been saying and what I personally have learned on my own without the NNA. Okay. So a lot of the stuff that I talk about, I learned without the NNA. Okay. The NNA, I learned by just doing research. The NNA did not teach me until now a lot of the concepts and the things that I understand about what I'm supposed to do as a notary. What the NNA has done is confirmed it. Okay. And again, this wasn't meant to be an NNA type of thing that I'm talking about here. But I just wanted to get on and just tell everybody, I got my primer and that the book is good, and I don't see any reason why you shouldn't. And again, I have no coupon codes. I'm not getting any kickback, no money, none of that. So whatever money the NNA makes, they make. I ain't getting jack. Okay, so don't think. And I'm not even going to put a link to the end. Y'all got the stuff. Just go over there, order the book, just like I did. You'll be fine. And the next one that I got to do with them is the Notary Essentials. I haven't taken that one yet. Full disclosure, I have not taken the Notary Essentials yet, but I did go through the hour-long training, the NNA hour-long training and everything before I took my exam. And even on my exam, I got an 86 point something. So no, I didn't ace it. I never really try to ace it. Plus, I'm always taking that course at 2, 3 in the morning, half tired, sleep, all of that. So of course I know I was gonna miss some answers because I was tired. That's what I've been doing for the whole time, just taking in the middle of the night when the only time I have available. The bottom line is this: you as a business owner got to define what information you're trying to learn. Once you identify that, then you got to figure out where's the source to get it. If the only thing that you're concerned about is document presentation, understanding the documents, knowing the documents like your title or escrow officer, which the NNA says that's not how we're supposed to represent ourselves. But if that's what you want to do, then that's fine. You can do that. You're a grown person. You do what you want. Just make sure you know how to notarize those documents correctly so they can get executed properly at the courthouse. Then you go ahead on and do that. You find a source that can teach you that to the level that you feel that you'll be comfortable. Because if that's what it's going to take in order for you to do this business correctly, that you personally got to have that level of knowledge in order for you to feel that it's worth it, then do that. Just make sure you know how to notarize those documents properly, because you understanding the documents like an escrow, title officer, or loan officer does not mean that you're going to notarize them correctly, does not mean they're going to be executed properly or be able to be recorded. It does not mean that. If it does, then please show me how you learning that and understanding that. And again, I'm not against it. I'm just against you doing that as the catalyst of your notary business and not knowing how to properly notarize. And that's where a lot of people are at. I want this knowledge to make me feel good. It just gives me a warm and fuzzy, but then you're stressed out hopping on Facebook and everywhere else, calling the NNA, call me, call all these other YouTubers, call mentors and stuff. How do I notarize this? And nobody should be doing that. If you've been doing notary, if you've been a notary, even though if you haven't done that many signings, if you've been a notary for at least the last 3 to 6 months, you should know how to notarize. If you do not, according to your state law, if you do not, that's a problem. And that's what I'm trying to do with my training, is help people understand that. Now, again, I'm sure other notaries out here probably start shifting their teaching and all of that to do the same. And that's fine. And as long as they're doing it correctly, then everybody benefits, because then the number of errors will go down significantly. Okay. It will go down significantly. That's the key. Document recordation at the courthouse. Will it be recorded? Will it be accepted? Did you notarize it correctly according to your state law? Does that notarization, does that acknowledgement statement have the wording that your state requires? If it does, great. If it does not, that's a problem, and you need to fix that. And you need to figure out how. What? Oh, you want me to tell you how? Okay. How? Well, simply put, one of the ways, which everybody should know, you add an all-purpose acknowledgement or a jurat. That's all you got to do if the notarial acknowledgement stuff isn't correct. But you first got to know your notarial acknowledgments, laws, and guidelines per your state. And if you don't know that, then you need to go figure that out. And if it's through the NNA, or just really for me, I learned it just reading the handbook, reading my state handbook. Oh, okay. Oh, they don't match. Okay, got it. And then I do accordingly. That's all you got to do. So the bottom line is, do what you're supposed to do as a business owner, as a notary, and you'll be fine. Everything will fall in line. All right. I'm gonna get on out of here. I got an hour, a little less than an hour and a half before I go do my signing. I got to run to the store and do some stuff. But thanks again for the fellas signing up. Really, really appreciate it. We're going to be talking about some good stuff on Saturday at noon. The webinar link is going to be in this here. You just go click, sign up, register. $35. We're going to be on there for 3 hours. Y'all know how I do. Might be on there. Who knows? Who knows how long we're going to be on there? Who knows? All right. So make sure you have you some food and all of that stuff. Not too much of the adult beverage or the exotic smoking stuff, because I don't want y'all passing out on camera and all of that and everything, getting all too lit and everything. And again, ladies, this is for us. So don't have a little man registering and then he's sitting up there, logging in, and then you sitting up there checking out what the fellas doing. All right. You and TT, y'all go hang out, spa day, whatever, and let man and the other men, chill and just enjoy each other. All right, y'all have a blessed one. Peace.